Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of How to Cannon. Now, as you guys can see by the title, today we'll be covering hammers, slab busting, and sand stacking. Now, well, I guess we'll start off with hammers. Now, the way hammers work is, just gonna be one second, a tiny bit loud. It usually is, but then it's like really quiet in the video. I don't know why. But anyways, the way hammers work is, let me just copy the sand real quick. I'll give you a little demonstration. Alright, let me copy this real quick. Oh, let's fire this one off. So basically, the way hammers work is they explode right as they hit the wall in order to stack the full amount of sand. Now, I didn't have one shot on, and that was because I was, I think, nuking with this can earlier. But anyways, the hammer has to explode as soon as it hits the wall. So, normally, your hammer should be on 4 ticks. If they're making a cannon, put your hammer on 4 ticks. If that doesn't work, then start experimenting. Some, you may have to do 2, or I've even seen a 5-tick hammer, but let me just show you what happens if you have the hammer on, like, too long of a delay. Let me just show you. Alright. So let me just world edit this out. And did I not have Slabbusts on? Oh no, it's just water. Set 0. So if their hammer's on too long of a delay, like even, actually I'll just put it on 5 ticks, just so you can see what it looks 1 tick off. Paste -O. So do you guys just like, pay very close attention to this right now? That did not stack. Now, I'll do it without sand, so you guys can probably see it better. As you see, it hit up here, and you could see it drop about 1 block. Now, that 1 block drop makes all the difference. That's 1 tick off just makes all the difference. That's usually how it is in cannoning. 1 tick can make the difference between a cannon that works and a cannon that absolutely sucks balls. Because the thing about it has to explode no later, no sooner than when it hits the wall. That's why, as you go farther, you do not add delay to your hammer, you actually add propulsion. Because I think most people, their logic is, oh, let me just add delay, so it blows up later, and blows up on the wall. No, you need to add propulsion. Because even if you are trying to shoot farther and your cannon stops working, because it's been working, it goes through all these walls and then just randomly stops working. Now that's most likely due to that you're out of range. Now a lot of people, they'll like add a tick to the hammer and be like, oh yeah, this will fix it, it'll just explode later. I've seen cannons that works on. I don't really understand why or how it worked on those cannons, but it did. But in most normal circumstances, you're going to, I'm a little bit frozen. Alright, you're going to have to add more propulsion, not more delay on your hammer. Unless, of course, if it's with, like, left shooting, then you add more delay to your hammer. But most of the time, you are going to have it on 4 ticks, rarely on 3. On 3 or 5. Like this can over here cannot work on 4 ticks. It has to be 3 ticks. Alright, so now I'll cover sand stacking. Now, in order to be able to stack sand with any cannon, you're going to need a 1.1 ratio to the TNT. So let's say I want to stack 230 sand. So calc 230 star 1.1. So you're getting 253 TNT. But the thing is, if you want, that's if you're just stacking sand. But then it's a whole new thing if you're trying to slab bust down to bedrock. Because actually, since it's having to deliver the slab bust in 0 ticks, I'll explain that right now. You're gonna need more power. It's like with a tunnel cannon. You don't just use a normal 20-tick propulsion. You need a lot more power. So you're actually gonna want to use a ratio. Let's say 230 times about 1.25. So I found it to work best that if you use about 290 to 300 TNT with your, if you're making 230 stacker, you're going to want to use around 300 TNT. This one I think we use around like 320 in the hammer, or 310, because it's a 240 stacker. But yeah, it's better to have more than less. I guess you could experiment, maybe take off a layer of hammer and fire it off. If this still works, then you're good. But this is the least amount of hammer I think you can have. I'm not sure these top dispensers are necessary, but yeah. So I made a video on this quite a while back, but it was with a really shitty cannon. So let me just explain it with a modern cannon. So the way the tunnel effect works. Let me just give you an example. The way you make these crazy trenches, you slab bust and stack in the same shot. Now, this one has a really small, like, little bitch tunnel because of the fact that the hammer is really short, so I can't have the slab bust as tall. Well, I could make it like 2 blocks taller technically, but then the cannon would look weird and it's just like my OCD. So, if I just come up here real quick, I'll explain to you guys exactly how slab busting works. So, the way this works is you have 4 single repeaters here to equal the amount of ticks to your hammer. So if you have 5 ticks to your hammer, let me just display this real quick. Let's say you have 5 or 3, 4. Let me move that up a bit. I'll just do 4 actually for bands. Alright. Wait, what am I doing? TT. Alright, as you guys see, when I set this off, both of these are going to go off at the same time. You see? They went on in unison. I'll just show that one more time so you guys can maybe actually see the current going through. Alright, but the thing is, this is 4 ticks and this is 4 ticks. And you can't argue that. They're the same amount of delay, technically. But in reality, they happen the same tick, but this goes off later in the tick. So you basically have to have enough power to move this TNT in 0 ticks. And that's all. And the reason you can sand stack and slab bust is because this happens in 0 ticks. This happens in 1 tick. So your slab bust, slab bust all at the same time the hammer fires. So if the hammer still hasn't fired, this TNT won't even be able to affect this sand. So that's why you can slab bust and stack in 1 shot. Now this is one way to use it due to tunnel effect. Just have it on this kind of delay. Or like I'll show you guys right here, I want to show off that one. Right here with these comparators. Now as you see, I have 4 ticks here and then I just have 1 4-tick repeater here. And you're like, well, how does that work? Because it has to go off later in the tick, no? Well, the cool thing with comparators is you can actually do this with comparators and have this on 4 ticks with just 1 repeater and have this on 4 ticks with 1 or even 2 repeaters. If you know how it would work, you'd think, hey, this goes off later in the tick because this uses 2 repeaters, this only uses 1. And I get really weird with things like that. It's really strange. You just have to kind of play around with it to understand it. It's actually a really cool concept with comparators because no matter what, if they're on the same delay as your hammer, no matter how many repeaters you use, it'll still happen later in the tick and allow you to be able to slab bust downwards and make these very beautiful trenches. And I basically covered hammers and slab busting and sand stacking, but also I think another thing I'm covering in this video is nuking because it's a combination of all 3. Now let me get let me use one of these cans without a little bitch nuke. Here, this will probably be. Damn it! This is the struggle of flying and trying to place blocks. Alright, so let me just repair these walls, and I'll show you guys exactly how to nuke. So if you want, let's say there's these people. Let's say their names are Jeff, and you fucking hate Jeff. Jeff's a douche. So you want to go over to their base, and let me paste -O so I don't have to go do that again. So Jeff, this Jeff guy, he's an asshole, right? You don't like him. He was shit talking your faction. He killed you in a 1v1 15 times. This is not based on true story, I promise. So, their first wall, you don't want to nuke their first wall, so you want everything enabled. You just want to one-shot it, because one-shots are swag. Alright. And waiting for that. Alright, so you one-shot that, and you leave that sexy trench, yada yada yada. So the next shot, you want to just nuke their wall all the way down, make them look like friggin' pieces of garbage. Now, just for purposes, I'm going to speed one. I'm gonna take this wall all the way down to bedrock. Slash replace 0 cobble slash top, and same thing here. Sorry about this, just taking a little bit extra time to make it a little bit better. Oh, fucking shit. Oh, whatever. So on the next shot, you're going to want to disable your one-shot TNT. You're not going to need that. And you also want to disable your one-shot sand. You're not going to need that. So you're just going to do a normal stack all the way up to your barrel height, of course. Alright, so now your sand's stacked. What you're going to want to do is re-enable your one-shot sand. And you only need about like 30, I say 10 to 30 sand to nuke, but since I'm lazy, I'm just gonna paste in the whole damn stack. And make sure your Slabbusts is on, make sure your one-shot sand is on, and you're just gonna fire this shit off. And watch it rape their wall. Now, it just like kind of destroyed that thing. Now this cannon is a really nice nuke, actually. I love the nuke on this cannon. Let me top. Slash pause 2. It's actually a 117 block tall nuke, which is actually pretty nice. So yeah, that's basically how you nuke. It's kind of a combination of all three. Hope this guide helped you guys out if you're wondering how to use your cannons. I will be covering some more things in the next episode, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, hope this tutorial kind of helped you guys a decent amount, and if it did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. See you guys in the next episode. Peace.